I was really excited about our win on Saturday. I thought our players played fairly good. Put together a first half, needed to put together a complete game. If you just look at the Kentucky game, didn't play well the first half, played well the second game. Then you look at Eastern Kentucky, played well the first half, didn't play well the second half. Still have a long ways to go, have a long ways for improvement. But as this football team goes, we just have to put together a 60-minute game, which we haven't done. So, but the good thing about it, we have still some more games to go, so we just look to improve each week.
Does Jacquez Rogers, does he remind you of any running backs you faced in the past?
Jacquez, just his size is just so hard. Kind of remind me of the Dibs kid who's in Florida right now, kind of built the same way, has the same type of speed. And, he's a back that can hide because of his size, but he has enough speed to run away from people.
What are the keys to containing him?
What we're going to have to do is just play together as a whole defense. Guys going to have to get lined up, and then we're going to have to pursue to the football. Can't allow him to break tackles. Even if he does break a tackle or two, it's going to be other guys going to have to come and get him on the ground.
If you guys get dinged up, you don't anticipate being out in your
guys that are dinged up right now, it's hard to say because we practiced last night. Today we're off. So when guys get in the training room, we'll know more about who's not able to play and who will be able to play.
Charlie, is there a larger trend towards like the smaller running backs? I mean, in the conference you got Devine and Deion Lewis, and you're going to be facing, he's what, 5'7", 5'8", yeah.
Well, when you look at running backs just across the country, the bigger backs are really hard to find because it's hard to find a guy who has enough speed and has enough agility that can get behind his pads. People go with the smaller running backs because when you run a spread, guys like those small backs that can really outrun people, who can make a cut and they can get behind the offensive lineman, and that's what he does. He does a good job where he can find an open hole because they're a zone team. So when you're a zone team, you zone up on people, and even though they may miss a block, he can just find a crease in the defense that will give him a chance.
What about their passing game? I guess it's a big part of their receiver.
Oh, the brother is a big part of that as a wide receiver, and they do a fairly good job of throwing the football. And issue in our secondaries, we're going to have to be able to run with them. We're going to have to be able to cover, have a lot of speed at wide receiver. So we're a team that plays a lot of man. We're a team that zone blitzes a lot. So they're going to be given the opportunity to go cover. So we're going to have to cover.
Charlie, did you see the tape of the electric kid hitting Doug in the back of the head and stepping on him?
No. Rocco was just telling me about that. I didn't see the tape on it at all.
When you play against this is a veteran team, the coach has been there for a while, you got a lot of team speed. And you're going on the road, what are the 2 or 3 things that you guys have to do to pull an upset like this?
Well, anytime you go on the road, you have to pack your defense. And it's critical that you take your defense with you because when you're on the road, the crowd is a factor. The only way you can take a crowd out of the game, the defense has to play well. You have to take your special teams because there's going to be a play or two that you're going to have to make in the special teams, and then you take your togetherness. You got to play as a complete football team. You got to play offensively, defensively, and the special teams. So guys have to play together. They have to understand that it's us against them. You're in a hostile environment. So how we're going to respond to the crowd is just how we got to keep our football team together. They have to understand those things.
Coach, how do you think they will respond to that hostile environment? You've been around them the most.
Well, so we're going to have to play well. We're going to have to play 60 minutes. And if we play well, you always feel like you have a chance. And they have to understand that it's got to be a complete game. And at all sides of the ball, each position has to play well.
The biggest difference in your offense in that second quarter when you really had it going, and then the second half where you would score. You looked at it, seeing things that did so much better in the second quarter.
Well, you look at it offensively, we turn the ball over there, and then the guy ends up taking a score. Then we weren't able to just consistently maintain drives. We would move the football, then there'd be a breakdown somewhere, and that's what you can't have. Offense is rhythm, and we have to stay on rhythm, and we have to be able to maintain drives. And guys got to be able to make plays.
What did you see in B.J. Butler earlier in camp that made you feel comfortable putting him in rotation and feeling like he could contribute?
B.J. Butler's going to be an outstanding player here. You look at B.J. Butler. When I was at the University of Florida, we recruited B.J. Butler, and he committed to Georgia, and we still try to recruit him, even though he was committed to Georgia. So then, when I came here, I kept calling him, but I knew he's going to be a good player, and he's a big body. You see him, he ran over the back to one time on the first sack of the game. He knocks the back into the quarterback, almost pulled the quarterback down, and so boy ended up getting the sack. But he's a guy who can cover. He's athletic enough. He can cover. He's a quarterback in high school. He played quarterback and defensive end in high school. So you look at a guy that has a lot of agility.
When Matt had the sack when he forced the fumble and recovered it, he jumped up and greeted him when he got over the sideline. Is that about as excited as you get as a coach? I mean, that makes you, as a defensive-minded guy, when you see a guy force the fumble, recover it.
Well, you just like to see on defense guys make plays, and the play that Matt made, you're just so happy for him because here he is, he comes in, he hits the quarterback, strips the ball, and he recovers it, and then he runs off the field with the ball in his hand, which he has to leave the ball out on the playing field. But just so happy for him. And the week before, he did not play at all against Kentucky because he didn't practice well. And this is what guys have to understand. If you don't practice, you're not going to play. And then just to see him come back into play as well as he played, it was just really good on his part.
Did he have a good week of practice?
Oh, yes, he had a good week, and that's why he had a chance to go play.
Are you sending a message?
Well, what guys have to understand, if you don't practice well, then you're not going to play. And you don't want to ever send a message, okay, if you say it, then you have to do it. Now, a lot of times guys say, well, I'm going to play anyway, okay, we'll see. But if you don't practice well, you won't play. And I think guys are getting that message.
You played against a lot of really good teams when you were at Florida. Looking at this Oregon State team, what are the 2 or 3 things that really impress you about them?
Well, more than anything, you have a veteran coach who's been around. Each year they've consistently been a top 10, top 20 team, and they're a team with a lot of speed. And then you look at it, this is a veteran team. They have a guy like the Rogers. They've been around, they've been in their program, their established program. So you look to just build how consistent they've been over the years, and it's been a very consistent program.
When a team has maybe more speed than you have, then what can you do to negate that? Are there things as a defensive coordinator you can do to make that from being something that really hurts you?
Well, you just hope they don't run by you. More than anything, just play and get lined up. And I always tell guys this, you may be playing against a fast receiver or a fast running back, but if you can contain him, he won't beat you. Now, when you let him get in the open field, you miss a tackle, or you let him throw the ball over your head, and that's when you have issues. But if we can contain him, then it won't be an issue. And we're going to have to play well on defense.
Will he be back? Was he held out? Is that more of a cautionary helping him out against Eastern?
But what he had done was broke that finger, and so I just didn't think he could tackle. So we'll just see how it goes this week, and how the training room and how Kyle get him ready to go play.
That was on the same hand that he had taped up against Kentucky?
Different hand.
Used a bunch of different guys at linebacker. How did those guys grade out? Anybody stand out to you there?
The guys were Dexter Heyman started at backer, which he played really well. But all of them played, as a group, they played pretty good.
What Jeff Heenan did as well, he was calling the signals out there a little bit too, or what was his role? He expanded those.
No, he was at the Mike linebacker, so our defenses are very simple. It's simple to me, but to some of those guys, it's not very simple. But what you try to do is guys just get lined up. And he was the guy who had to make the strength calls and get guys in line. But more than anything, just he had an air about him on Saturday where you just felt like he was going to play well, which he did, because he responded well and he responded to the challenge.
Do you do anything differently to adjust the time difference or the travel difference or anything like that?
No, it's not much we can do. We're going to leave out here on Friday, and then we'll go out there and walk through. But it's just that it's not much we can do. It's a short trip. You're out there on Friday, you play Saturday, and come on back.
How do you you talk about the rhythm on offense, how do you get into that rhythm? I mean,
it's just when you take the field, you got to get first downs, and you got to be consistent. You got to your drives. You got to make sure you maintain those drives, and those drives. When you move the football, it's just guys had to step up and make plays. You look at us. I think the first third down we ran the ball, and Bilal was maybe a half a yard short. We just make a block on the perimeter. He gets the first down. the next time we throw the football and then complete it, but it's just consistently and just making sure that you can sustain those drives and you can continue on with it.
Starting well is always important. Is it even more important on the road?
It's very important on the road because what you want to do is just make sure that the players stay into the game. Because if you get out there and you give up a big play, then you go, oh God, here we go. And you're just making sure that you can just withstand. I always say just withstand the onslaught. If it's coming, guys, we got to hold it off. Because you can't allow a team to just play like that for 60 minutes. At some point, if they're playing like that, then we're going to have to go play like that. And I always tell our defense this. I say, guys, what happened in a game on defense, or even what happens in a game, you have to go out and play their defense. Now, if their defense is making plays, we have to make plays. If they're stepping our offense, we have to go stop their offense. And it comes back to just defensively. And that's the first thing on playing to win, play great defense.
It's been your analysis of how Adams played through 2 games from.
Oh, Froman, I think he's done a great job of managing the offense. Have made some throws, some really good throws. Had a lot of drops. Got to get better play out of our wide receivers, but just been very well pleased at the way he's managed the offense.
How about Bilal? He's averaging almost 8 yards per carry.
But Bilal, it's just the face of our program. You know, he's going to play well. You know, he's like Doug Bowman, Mr. Reliable. You know, you look at those two guys, you just need 9 other guys on the team, 10 other guys. You have one of them, just need other guys like them on the team.
Is it a relief to have the Beaumont touchdown thing out of the way? Is, you know, something to be in the back of the mind again?
Probably relief for him. No, but it's great to see him score. And you're just so happy to see him score. It's amazing that he's been in this program for 4 years or 5 years, and he just finally get his touchdown senior year, second game into the season.
Any word on Wetter? He's left the game. I think the first half. Is he going to be relevant?
No word yet on Wetter.
About Bellamy and the adjustment, you know, you guys got pretty high hopes for him, and maybe what he's doing a better job of.
Bellamy needed to catch the football. He had 3 drops on Saturday. Just that whole wide receiver position. And it's a position you had 5 drops the first game, you had 3 drops this game, and just consistent play. Catch the football. If you're a wide receiver, it's your job. Go catch the ball.
Is he looking down? Was he looking to take his eyes off the ball?
Oh, I don't know. Just catch it. I don't know if it's down or up or sideways. Just catch it.
As a coach, do those kind of things annoy you more than guys making mental mistakes?
Well, it does, because if you look at running back, run the ball. Just run the ball, get behind your pads, go get positive yards. Wide receiver, catch the football. Quarterback, manage the game. Offensive lineman, come off, make blocks. D lineman, come off, get off of blocks, go pursue to the ball. Secondary, cover. But it's your job, so just go catch the football. You don't ask them much, block on the perimeter and catch the ball.
How are you grading your offensive line? 2 games.
I'd like to see better consistent play of the O-line right now. If you look at the first game, kind of played well the second half, and then in this game played well the first half. But they're opening up holes. You know, you look at Bilal ends up with 90 yards, and then Vic ends up with around 70. So they're moving people out of the way. You just like to see them just take people and just drive them in.
If Johnny Patrick is not able to go on Saturday, do you see Darius Ashley as being, you know, prepared to make that start?
Yes, if Johnny Patrick isn't able to go, Darius Ashley will make that start.
How would you say he's developed in, you know, just making that whole transition from running back?
Well, he's done a good job. And the thing about it, he's had a lot of practices in that position. So if he has to go in and play, he's got to do it. It's no one else. So he just has to be ready to go play.
The secondary was a position of concern in the preseason, but now with youngsters like Shenard Holton and Akeem Smith stepping up, do we feel better overall about the outlook for the secondary now?
No, I still think it's a concern for us right now, because if you look at it, you have Patrick, you have Bobby Burns at corner, you have Shenard, and you have Hakeem Smith, who's really playing well at the safety position. Mike Miller comes in a substitute package. Ashley is another one comes in, but we don't have enough depth there. We just need some guys there at that position, and you need playmakers there, and guys that can, you know, the thing that bothers you, do we have enough speed in the back end? Where if something breaks, can we run and go catch the guy?
Anything else, Coach?
All right. Thank you.